I'm one of the top ranked players of the last season, and we're going to go through the new league cards, and I'm going to give you some new great meta deck ideas. So these are the new leaked cards that we've seen so far, and none of them seem super interesting except for one, and that's the rare candy.
The rare candy is choose one of your basic Pokemon and play. Okay, I'm just going to summarize it. If you have a 3-stage Pokemon, the rare candy basically skips the second stage and gets you straight from basic to the third stage, right?
Exactly. You technically don't even need the first stage in your deck. You can just have the basic and the third stage. I've actually had one idea I've been thinking about in particular, which would double the value of the rare candy, and that's by having 2 3-stage lines in a deck. Being able to get 2 3-stage Pokemon on your hand, on your deck at once, it could be huge.
He came up with these ideas, and I gotta say, this is gonna change the meta completely. One of the cards that brings all of these decks together, obviously, is Rare Candy, but the second one is Chatot, which a lot of people don't use.
Instead of attacking, the Chatot will shuffle your hand into your deck, and it will draw the amount of cards that are in your opponent's hand. This could be a useful tool for cycling through your deck quickly. It also puts pressure on the opponent to not keep as many cards in his hand, to not give you an advantage. And you're going to see how this can pair up really well with the new rare candy.
Particularly with fossil Pokemon, this Chatot is guaranteed to come in your first hand, right?
Yeah, because listen, with fossil Pokemon, that first basic stage, not something you can start with in your hand. By having a fossil stage and a Chatot in your deck, you would be guaranteed the Chatot.
You run through that deck within a few turns.
And that's the idea for this first deck is you're running Chatot with Rampardos with Aerodactyl EX. And with that idea, you're going to be guaranteed a Chatot turn 1. And your idea is just to cycle as quickly as you can, get those fossil Pokemon up and running.
Yeah, and another thing to take into account here is we want to prioritize Pokemon with low energy costs that are 3-stage. Like Rampardos is the perfect example because it does 130 damage with 1 energy.
That's a powerhouse. Like, imagine getting that up by turn 3, turn 2, or turn 3. That's devastating.
Aerodactyl might not have seen like a threat in the previous metas, but that ability comes into play because a lot of people are going to be using these 3-stage Pokemon with rare candy. So when they cannot evolve anymore, it kind of is a big hit.
You want to keep in mind with Chatot, you want a lot of disposable cards you can use up in the same turn, just so you get more value out of cycling through your hand and getting more and more cards. Just get through your deck as quickly as possible.
And its attack is not useless either. That's 2 energies for 80 damage is pretty solid. So you can actually use Kabutops as well. The only downside is that it only does 50 damage, so it takes a lot of damage to win. So that's why we prioritize Aerodactyl with its ability and damage. But Kabutops does work in certain situations because of its healing ability. That's the first out of 4 decks that we came up with today. So the second one is actually a grass deck. So the last one is going to be the most viable. So just keep watching till then. All 4 are pretty insane. So the second one is the grass one. We talked about Venusaur Superior.
The idea behind this deck is you get up your Superior and you get up your Venusaur. With that Superior's ability, Venusaur is a 4 energy card. And just taking that from 4 to 2 makes a massive difference. You can get your Venusaur up and running quick. Just have those healing cards in the back, those Ericas, those potions. Your Venusaur will never die.
Remember, we're still using Chatot so that we can cycle through that deck as fast as possible. We personally think these are the best combo, Venusaur and Superior, but you could switch out the Superior with Meowscarada or even Butterfree for some more healing. Meowscarada is definitely a threat, so you could switch out that Superior with the Meowscarada and it could work.
Exactly. You can try these different things. And remember, the key to this is those rare candies. With 2 3-stage lines in your deck, the value of that rare candy is doubled.
Now we're going to our third one. This is a bit of a troll deck, but it's going to be actually amazing. Master and Pidgeot.
And not the Pidgeot EX. If you guys don't know, the regular version of Pidgeot, it does 70 damage. And its ability is it forces a switch out.
So it's called Drive Off. Once during your turn, you may switch out one of your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. So this is pretty insane. With Pidgeot's ability, it can stay in the back. It can do 70 damage as well with only 2 energies, so it's still pretty viable. Maybe they're protecting something in the back. Maybe they have something there that they need. Pidgeot just switch it in, kills it in one shot, and they're done. It ruins their whole game pretty much.
And then Master, if you guys don't know, Master, it also does 70 damage, and when you attack with Master, their active Pokemon cannot attack the next turn. So the only thing they can do there is switch out, or else they're locked into never being able to attack. attack.
So just imagine you're fighting this deck. Master's in the front. He keeps making so you can't attack. But if there is something annoying there, you could just use the Pidgeot's ability to send it out to the back. It completely ruins pretty much anyone's ability to win.
You're going to have a lot of rage quit. Dude.
I think the biggest downside to Master Pidgeot is rage quits.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so now we're going to go on to the final deck. This one we believe is pretty much shake the meta. Like this has a very high chance of being the top meta deck. Charizard Infernape plus Rare Candy and Chatot.
We're using the new Charizard, the one with stoking. This Charizard isn't as strong as the old Charizard, but in this usage case, this is the better choice. And remember, it's all about energy efficiency. If you can get to your Charizard EX, all you need is 2 energies. You use that attack, you stoke, and you get your 5 energies. You're able to do 150 after that. With the Infernape as well, that Infernape, it's able to do 140 damage. That's huge damage. These cards are also very tanky. They're 170 and 180 HP. Just these 2 cards, it can really mess up your opponent.
Yeah, and if you really want, also you can switch out some of those Chatots with Moltres, because Moltres pairs up pretty well with these guys.
If you're gonna use Moltres, you could even use the old Charizard instead, because remember that old Charizard, it can one-shot any card in the game. It's a very powerful card. And with the Moltres, you're going to have enough energy.
These decks are almost guaranteed to be the next metas, so you got to get ahead of it. Get in there, use these decks, get to the top of Master Ball just like he did. These will definitely get you there. I personally, my favorite out of these 4 is Master Pidgeot. Is just going to be so much fun playing, watching those rage quits. People are going to get angry.
Definitely, yeah. The point of this game is to have fun. You got to try these things out. You might find something that turns out to be really good. Guys, keep an eye out for this rare candy.